All right, today we're getting into a story that's, well, it's a really tough one. It's all about family loyalty versus personal ethics. And it centers on a mother who has to make a choice that honestly feels impossible, a choice that has completely broken her relationship with her pregnant daughter.
And this one sentence from the mother, this is really at the heart of the whole thing. It is the line she has drawn in the sand and she is not backing down. So let's break down what actually led to this incredibly difficult family standoff.
So, the main conflict is pretty shocking when you first hear it. We have a mother who's not just refusing to support her pregnant daughter, she's actually planning on kicking her out of the house. I know, it sounds unbelievably harsh, but the story is way more complicated than it seems on the surface. And that, right there, is the most important part of this whole situation. The mother is really clear. Her problem isn't the baby, it's not about the pregnancy at all. It's about how the pregnancy happened, the actions that she sees as a total, fundamental betrayal. Okay, so how on earth did things get so bad? To really get where the mother is coming from, you've got to understand the daughter's relationship with the baby's father. Their whole setup was what you'd call friends with benefits. No official titles, no talk of a future, just a casual thing. And believe me, that context is a really key piece of the puzzle for everything that happens next. So, in a pretty candid talk with her mom, the daughter just lays it all out. She admits it was all part of a deliberate plan. She told her partner, "Yep, I'm on birth control," but she had secretly stopped taking it. Her whole goal? To get pregnant. So, this was no accident. This was a choice she made completely on her own. So, why? What was the reason behind all this? Well, she said she really wanted a baby, and she looked at him and thought, you know, he'd be a good dad. Not because they were in love, but because he was financially stable. It was a very, very calculated decision. Now, let's flip over to the father's side of this. When he found out, his reaction was apparently super clear and consistent. He had always been upfront about the fact that he did not want a child. He even offered to pay for an abortion, so there was really no confusion about where he stood. So, with all of this now out in the open, you can imagine what happens next. It all blows up in this massive confrontation between the mother and the daughter, and their core values just completely clash. And right here, you can see the two sides of the argument crystal clear. The daughter's defense is basically, well, my friend did the same thing and her mom supports her, but the mother's comeback is all about principle. She says, you don't get to lie to someone, take away their choice in the matter, and then turn around and expect them to thank you for it. And then, wow, the argument just goes to a whole other level. The mother reveals that she's actually recorded her daughter's confession, and she threatens to send that recording to the father. She's thinking he deserves to know the truth, and he needs to protect himself legally. I mean, that is a huge move, and it just shows how serious she thinks this deception is. This fight wasn't just about yelling and hurt feelings. Oh no. It kicked off a whole chain reaction of really serious, real-world consequences, all because the mother refused to be okay with what her daughter did. But here's the thing. There was this giant flaw in the daughter's plan, a really big financial mistake that she apparently never even considered. See, the daughter was counting on getting a lot of child support from this financially stable guy. But her mother had to break the bad news. Because his income isn't all official and on paper, the actual legal child support would probably be something like $200 a month. A mere $200. And that just completely blows up the daughter's entire financial plan. So, with that reality check, the mother lays down her final ultimatum, and she is not messing around. She tells her daughter, 1, you're out of my house. 2, I will not be stepping in to save you from this. And 3, I will not help you raise a child that was brought into the world this way. Now, this whole family crisis really builds up to a bigger point that the mother feels she absolutely has to make. She calls it an uncomfortable truth, and it's all about accountability and equality. For her, the most important takeaway isn't just what happened with her daughter. It's about a double standard in society that she thinks we all just kind of let slide. And the mother puts her argument out there very bluntly. She says, look, if a man lies to a woman to force her to become a mother, we all immediately and correctly call that abuse. So her question is, why, when the roles are flipped, is it so often just framed as her choice? And that pretty much brings us to her core belief, the thing that's driving every single one of her decisions. For her, it's simple. Equality can't just be for some people, some of the time. It has to apply to everyone. So, where does all this leave them? Well, it's a total mess. The whole situation is just stuck in this painful gridlock that honestly brings up more questions than it answers. Right now, their relationship is just broken. The daughter feels completely betrayed, like her own mother has taken someone else's side against her. And at the same time, the mother is standing her ground, totally unwilling to compromise on her principles. And that leaves us with the same question the mother asks. There is no easy answer here, not at all. It's a huge dilemma about love, about right and wrong, and about the really painful consequences that come from our choices. So, what would you do?